Today, as you start your drawing, you're going to want to make sure that you read these directions where it says enlarge contour line. And if you think about the line that we had yesterday with the pilot and the grid that we did, the contour was the outline of the objects, the features. So you may want to take a different color pencil like blue or a red or something and think about the edges of the features. And on your worksheet you might just subtly see that there's some Sharpie line that I tried to indicate there. So that might help you be able to focus on, let's see if the blue will show up. I guess not very well, but you'll be able to see it a little bit at your own seat. This is enlarge and then shade, which is add, value. So you will be practicing going from light to dark, and you already did that with color pencil on your portfolio monograms, and so you should have a good sense of it. And this is another skill builder, but with a little bit of a different medium, still pencils, but graphite pencils. And then once again enlarge and shade. The shading values are down here, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0 is your paper color, and often you will want to use that. And if you get smudges on there as you shade, then you're going to use your eraser to lift those up. So once again, connecting back to math and grid, you are going to then create locations of where you see these lines. And it's just very sketchy because ultimately later, and in this ridge where the shadow is, ultimately later you will be adding value to your final portraits. So some of the lines will thicken, some of them will fade. So I'm looking at placement. So if I need to make a guide and I'll make a little line there, this is about halfway. So this is about halfway up between these 2 points. So you're kind of talking to yourself as, not out loud, but as you shade. If you don't see it, you don't draw it. I do see a very slight difference. It's not registering up on the screen much, but if it's there, you can put that in, and as you shade it, then the contrast or the difference between will be different. So here we don't want a harsh edge, because really what forms the nose are shadows. We just want an indicator of where these exist. And then I'm going to come down to make sure that I'm in there's about the same amount of negative space, which you're familiar with, kind of looking at this negative space shape and seeing if it's similar. So you can see that it's very sketchy, and then I can notice that that doesn't actually overlap much onto this line, and then the curve starts on this side of the line, and sometimes I'll do the same angle and then kind of sketch up and then check out where the curve is. Because really your eye is following this, and you want your hand to coordinate in that same level or movement, and then it curves. So as you're following this with your eye, your pencil is doing the same thing. And then this I would just indicate, because really I'm going to be adding some value on that side, and that's going to make this become more 3D later. That's line only, so you don't have to shade this one. You may decide to, before you work on this, to match these values, and it's just a process of layering. This photocopy did not come out very well, but if you see, I'm using a number 2 pencil, which is probably my go-to pencil for the majority of the drawing. And just as we worked on the values with the colored pencils, when you were asked to layer and then blend, you may have done a background of dark blue and then layered it with light blue. So you want to make sure that there's none of these little white edges near the border. Gently touching this with your finger. I mean, it's like I'm barely going over my hand. It almost tickles because it's so light. So you do not want to press hard. And sometimes if it's a little dark, I'm just skimming this. I mean, you can see the way I'm gripping my pencil. I'm really not pressing on this, and so sometimes it helps smooth the texture and makes it more consistent. This next one, you can come through and do the same thing, trying to Keep the edges clean. I'll often turn the paper and then reverse the layers. You want to try to slow down near the edges because you're not going to always be creating different values in boxes. So if I just continue to layer and then gently touch this, you can see it doesn't match the value up above, but if I stay in one place longer and as I move through, it has more of a similar feeling to the value that's right above it. So you can do all of this with a number 2 pencil. You may want to try the shading pencils that we just talked about a few minutes ago. Because they really, if you learn the right tools and you practice the skills, combining them, that's where your skills and the materials are important to work together as a team. So maybe I'll grab this B pencil, which is, just one step above the HB, which is your number 2 combination of the lights and the dark lead. And as I do this, still I'm just skimming. As you practice, you'll be able to modify how much pressure you put on there. It just becomes kind of a natural thing, but I'm doing practicing the process I would like you to go through. So then it seems like it matches this above, and you're just going to then proceed through each one of these. When you are working on shading the circle, you may want to start with a slightly darker pencil. And there's a poster up on the board, a piece of paper that you can see where they've gone through the steps of the different values and where you want the light to hit. I'm not requiring you to put a cast shadow here, but if you think about where the sun or the light in the room is hitting, you want to work on dark to light, which is that 5 through 0 value scale here, and you can see the way they started, and there's a little bit of a reflective edge here. If you think about correct blending, it is important to stay close together because you can then smooth this, and where your pencil couldn't go light enough, you can use what's left on your fingertip to pull that value in a little bit. Here, if you rush, you can't smooth those marks. And this is a tortillon, which I mentioned. This is if you can't get into the crevices of the eye or different areas inside the nostrils, your finger can't do that. This can do this for you. It's a blending stump, also called that. So you just want to go ahead and try to start working. And when you shade, you should really follow the contour, the curve of the image, because that's going to give you more of a round feeling. So if I stay in one place, just like we talked about in the monogram, where you just stay in one place and work and fade that line away, then you will have a rich dark value. So the process that we practiced on the monograms, and remember, it's just really light pressure. I'm not and then you sometimes have to go back over it because essentially you put the lead on your finger, so you do lift some up. But as you work around, you're going to see that it's going to be more of a 3D feeling.